All right, how's it going, everyone? This is Jose Trujillo once again, coming to you from my art studio. One of my easels, and this is my trusted Starbucks. Never leaving my side. Today, I want to make a small, one of my smaller. I guess this would be a medium size if it was a plein air. It's painted in that type of brushwork, that immediate brushwork, and I love doing paintings like this, as you know, for my other videos. I'm going to be doing some apples. I'm going to be showing you how I paint apples, or one of my version of apples, right? This is an 11 inches by 14 inches canvas board. This is one of those thin ones that I like to use. Okay, and let's get to it. Why not? Here we go. Also, I wanted to let you know, just so that you don't get discouraged by my videos. I just like to get going, guys. So if you don't see me like, I don't know, telling you what I'm mixing or whatever, it's not because I'm trying to keep some info from you guys. It's just that I haven't been able to do videos like that, where I can actually show the palette, how I'm mixing it, and show you guys quote unquote part of the more part of the process, right? Than that. So trust me, I'm not trying to leave anything out. I'm trying to show you what is it that I do, and I will be doing some videos where I show more detail, hopefully soon, as to what it is that I'm mixing and that kind of thing. Okay, so don't get discouraged just because I'm not showing all the thing right here, like my camera is like pointing at that. So but we'll get to it, okay? There we go. And let's do another apple right here. Something like that, right? So this is my one version of apples, okay? So for example, another version of apples, of course, is the, I don't know what it's called, but it's more of this type of apple, right? That's not the apple I'm doing right now. I'm doing a smaller little apple that is more cute and cuddly. Alright. I like to keep this fun, okay? I like to keep it, sometimes I'll go like, I don't know, I'll go a little philosophical with my stuff or whatever, but either way, I like to keep it fun. I don't enjoy making things too serious, as you've heard me express before, right? I'm more about, just have fun. That's the whole point. I like how one way of looking at it is how Renoir looked at it, right? The Impressionist painter, Auguste, who was it? Yeah, Renoir, Pierre-Auguste Renoir. He told his art professor, I think, so the story says, right? If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. I feel the same way when it comes to artwork. There's a moment for seriousness. I mean, it's not all, it's not all laughter and hee, right? There's moments where I get a bit more rigid, a bit more serious. But I try to minimize those because those are my secret weapons. Those are my secret weapon moments. So I try to minimize those. Especially here, I'm not trying to appear to you guys all serious or like the seriousness of art. I don't want to scare you guys with that. I think we all have enough seriousness in our personal lives. You don't need to get it from me. And I feel like it's like the news. We already have enough bad news happening in our personal lives, or exciting things that challenges or whatever. We don't need to hear it from from the news. We don't need to hear it at 8 o'clock or whatever. That's how I feel, anyways. It doesn't mean you can't get informed. Doesn't mean we're thinking about that, okay? See, I look at it like that. I look at it like the news. When I create my artwork or whatever it is that I'm doing like this, I feel like, look, be loose with your brushwork. Do it with love. Do it with fun. It doesn't mean, oh, I got a good one here. It doesn't mean that, that you don't have to practice or get formal about it, right? Get better or whatever that means, right? It doesn't mean that. It just means that you don't get lost in the seriousness of it. That's all I'm really sharing with you guys here. That's really all I shoot for. Of course it's serious. Of course there's a level to it, right? A serious level to it. A very it's not even serious. It's more it's not serious like that painful type of serious, like, oh my god, I have to paint because if I don't, stars won't align correctly, or there's a seriousness to it, but it's not. Ultimately, it's not that serious. If I make any sense, if I may. So that's how I treat it, anyways. Everyone sees it differently, of course. But that's how I like to treat it. I don't like to see it so serious. I think we have enough of that. In another video, I told you if you guys wanted to explore more your brushwork and, of course, washes and paint. And what I mean by washes is it's exactly that. It's getting a lot of oil, whatever oil you use, linseed oil or whatever, and do that, right? These are washes. It's very much like watercolor. Right? It's not that complicated. It's like watercolor. If you guys want to practice some of that, you guys have to check out Cezanne's approach. I'm sure you guys, most of you guys looking at this probably are artists or hobbyist artists or whatever. Nonetheless, all artists, right? But I really learned a lot from looking at Cezanne's approach. And I mean, there's no book that says this is Cezanne's approach. Or maybe there is, I don't know. I just kind of paid attention to it, right? I paid attention to the paint. Especially, I mean, you have to see the real thing. And with today's technology, you can see very clearly if you find a good enough high resolution. I mean, you don't have to visit the museum. If you do, then the better, right? If you have a local museum or a museum close by where you can see Cezanne's, at least one of Cezanne's. You don't have to see all of his paintings, just one or two of Cezanne's paintings. You will get a good idea of immediacy. This is what I call this. It's more immediate. I know it's a made-up term by me. Or maybe some other people already use it. Whatever. It doesn't matter who uses it. But it's that, it's immediacy. And I believe that Cezanne mastered that like no other artist. I believe that Cezanne had that happening. He was able to show with so apparent, something that looks apparently little brushwork, or it looks only that way. It's not, but it only looks that way, right? To the untrained eye. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's a caffeine. I'm having a lot of fun right now. But yeah, it only looks like that. It looks like there's nothing going on, but so much is said and so little in Cezanne's work, which is one of the reasons why I believe he's sort of a cross between painter and philosopher. Very, very high end, very, very much high end approach had Cezanne. I believe it was a very high end type of painting that if you pay attention to him, you realize that he was paving the way for something. I mean, as were all of them, right? But I believe that Cezanne was a bit of a futurist, if you will. He was able to pay even more attention, I think, than the other guys, and take the artwork from merely just one how would I say this, one dimension, right? To other dimensions, and I don't mean it in a woo. No, I'm talking about just very simple forms, like Monet was one dimension, right? Monet was all, or maybe more, but not maybe, certainly more dimensions. But the most profound one that we get from Monet is the observation, right? That's why I think Cezanne called him the eye, because he had just a very strong observation. He was the observer. These guys were all a bit of scientists. He was the observer, and so that's one dimension. And then if he was doing the plein air paintings, of course, he was doing a lot of that study. Then there you have it. There you have more dimensions in there, because, as I said in other videos, not only is he observing, but he's feeling the landscape, right? He's in tune with it, with his other senses, not just with his eyes, but he's also feeling the breeze, contemplating with his whole being, right? His whole body. He's really there, right? And that is one aspect of it, And as I said, Van Gogh had another aspect, another approach, which had to do more with the inner, right? I believe there was a lot of observation with Van Gogh, but I think that he also, because he was more in tune with I think the inner, and I don't mean the inner more in a Zen. He certainly had that aspect, but I think that the inner in the sense of what was going on through his mind, right? It was more mental. There was a lot to do more with ideas and notions, and mix that with observation, of course, as well. But Van Gogh, I think Van Gogh took it farther. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Van Gogh definitely took it farther, but Cezanne, I think he went from that, and also went farther, went more into more of the abstract, more conceptual, and reconstructing, right? Breaking things and reconstructing them. I think that, there's no. It's not a coincidence that Matisse, says Cezanne is father to all of us. It's no coincidence. There is something happening there that the young artists are able to catch. and say, oh, I see where this guy has taken us now. Just like how Manet took the Impressionist, you know. Manet was exposing the Impressionists to direct type of painting and brushwork that you were able to see, and it wasn't hidden. You know, it wasn't Courbet anymore running the gig. Anyways, don't get lost into all of that. I'm a nerd for the history, or I was anyways when I was younger. But I don't want to lose you with all that stuff. I'm sure many of you know about that far more than I know. I just like to make observations of that and what is happening also with my artwork, and more than likely your artwork as well. You know, why do we paint the way that we do? Who was before us, and on whose shoulders are we standing, right, or sitting, or whatever? Okay, that kind of thing. And also, on another note, man, I feel good today. Been doing my thing, doing my paintings. Getting some commissions done. Not getting commissions. Getting commissions. Getting commissions has been a blessing for me. I always get commissions. Getting them done is a whole other thing. I need to work on a couple more right now. But nevertheless, I love making commissions, creating commission paintings. I grow a lot from them too. They're not just they're not work only. I grow a lot when I paint commissions. I'm able to do I'm able to do a scene in a different way that I maybe never thought about, you know, or that I need to explore, and I use a commission sometimes to try in contested waters too. And contested to me, okay, not to the, not claiming to do anything different or the only one. Maybe I am. It's a little bit of a wash right here. Just red, just cadmium, deep red. Right? Let's put a little bit of light. And then there was light. It makes sense depending on the light. It makes sense to do this, right? On some paintings. That's why I tell you guys to practice in different light, and also practice with different, not just in different light, but No, that would be a different light. Yeah, different times of the day, and then you get a different thing happening, almost always. A little juicy. I remember this artist used to say, when it comes to light, I used to do portrait paintings, right? More often than I do now. I don't pursue them as much. I do a lot of landscapes now. But this portrait painter used to say, you use white, right? Like I use here, like pure white, only on the tip of the nose. That's the only area that you get pure white. Only on the tip of the nose. I listened to that for a while, but after a good while, I was like, nah, he's talking about only a certain light, you know. Anyways, yeah, when a certain light is hitting it, yeah, you only get the tip of the nose. But I know what he was referring to, of course. But that's where it's the part of the body that stood out the most. So that's the part of the body that got the light. Anyways, guys, here I am. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm a fine art artist, and I painted some apples for you guys. This is how you do it. Chicka bam! Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.